Okay. A little bit of a rocky start there. OBS freaked out. I think we're back. Double check this. Make sure we're all good here. I think we are. Perfect. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're open a terminal for one. I updated Go locally. And the last thing we'll do for this branch is we're going to bump Go mod, not main. We're going to bump the Go version 25.0. And then we will do a launch on the editor. Make sure things come up. It'll take a second to rebuild everything. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to do. Because lately I've been bumping up against the sharp edges of Cogent just being not ready yet, right? And it's been really, really frustrating. And I'm really thinking about replacing it for now, right? I still like the project Cogent. I like a lot of things that they're doing. But okay, yeah, this is broken still, but I mean, oh, that's interesting. I think that's new. I don't think it's a Go version thing though. I still like Cogent and what they're doing. It's just I keep running into these issues and it's kind of starting to hold me back, right? And it's just Cogent is just not ready yet. But that all seems to be working more or less as well as it was, right? So that's good. Let's do the server and we'll launch a client as well. And as I was thinking today, while I was at work wandering around, I was thinking about options there, right? So there's fine, but I hear that it really wants to be kind of a very limited toolkit. It wants to be very simple. It wants you to do, I forgot to start a database. It wants you to do things very, very much like web appy, right? Like very standard. It wants to be simple and clean and all of that is really good. But I'm doing crazy stuff, right? I'm not like, we're doing things that a UI library has to be really, really generic for, right? There's my server now. And that leads me to a couple of thoughts. There we go. So what's cross-platform, right? So we still want to do that. I want to be able to build for Linux and Windows. Not Mac purely because I don't want to buy a Mac to build it, right? Okay, all of that pretty good still. With the version update. Wasn't really expecting it to be broken, but you know, we do at least the basic testing. Let's do a full test run as well. Just to be sure that that's all still working. So there's Electron. I don't want to do that. I don't like Electron apps myself, personally. Oh, something failed. Hold on there. Right room template, change templates. That we might have broken when we did let's roll this back. That might have happened when we changed the coordinates library or package module, whatever you want to call it. Let's find out. No. Okay. This is of trouble. Okay. Let's rerun that again real quick. But the other options, right? So like, okay, so no Electron. There's Flutter, which I hear very good things about. And there is that's kind of it, right, for cross-platform stuff. I mean, you can do like Qt cross-platform, I believe. I think ImGUI might be as well. But then we got to go and write stuff in C++, which, I mean, it would be fine. I would have to learn more C++. I'm not opposed to that. But native cross-compilation is really, really compelling to me, as well as the ability to build this thing as a web app for like a demo purpose. If I can get it for, free, more or less, without having to do any major rewriting to just be able to set up like a demo client, right, that you could use to see if you care about this thing or not without downloading anything. Just kind of thinking, further down the road. So I asked in my Discord, because I know I have at least one Flutter fan, and they seem to suggest that it should be something we could do. I would want to do something small in it first, just to kind of feel it out before I really committed, though, right? So I got to think about that a little bit. But let's fix this bug caused by my change first really quick here. Template manager.tile templates. .data.location.x. Equate comparable to compare comparable Go types. It's in testing. Go CMP. Let me also double check really quick. And we'll do a mod tidy real quick after this too, just to be sure. This looks to be all in Go CMP though, so. Be in the map editor. Okay, that's done. Go mod tidy. And we'll go looking here. It'd be this one. Okay. It didn't fail that last time though. So it must have still been using old version or something. Let's run it again. No, now it does it. Intermittent failure? That should not be. That's weird. Editor, map editor, internal, template manager test. That's odd. Okay, well, we can reproduce it at least. Oh, okay. It's because we fail to set up the test on because it doesn't get cleaned up if it panics. Okay, so change template, unexported field. Actually, this raises an interesting question. Let's roll that back again. We'll run tidy again. Because the intermittent, because of the failure to set up, could have given us a false negative. It did. Okay, so this was something that we broke when we did the whatchamacallit, the coordinates refactor, I think. Let's get that, run tidy. Make sure it cleans up. There's the failure. Run once more so it cleans up. There we go. Okay. Where did we change template? I'm in the wrong place. Here we go. Data is tile data. Oops. Which has a location. So that's the trub. So here we just need to not use compare. What did we change about location that would break that? ID, tile data, description, verbose description. Shared coordinates. I think these can actually go. That's fine for now. We'll leave them in for a second. They're still not exported. They're just not pointers. I wonder if it's because they're pointers that compare could handle them. Well, either way, we need to do here is say instead and then we'll do a new line, and then we'll do and a new line, and then another new line, just so that we put these guys a little bit spread apart. That'll help to make them readable. And we wanted the expected list. We got the result. Do this too. Same thing. Different things. We can still copy you. We'll just drop in. We expect this from 1 to the end. There's our result. Here we do the same thing. Like so. Okay, load connection templates. I should just stop using CMP in this project. It has bitten me multiple times with this sort of exact thing because we have private stuff in different places. That might as well just that. Let's copy this. I bet you it'll be more relevant here in a second than not. Because we called it the same thing. Good. Excellent. Do test connection template. Oop, we didn't use the same thing there because we deleted. This one is this one. Okay. That should hopefully square that away. No, we're missing something. Didn't take you out. How did it help? Okay. Did I forget to take another out? I did. Ugh. Oh, hello, little viewer bots. Report. Being a bot. And then out you go. Should check on my chat settings here. I thought I had you guys blocked out of here. Let's see. Moderation. Chat options. Verified email. I guess they must be more than a week old. Let's try that. Hopefully that'll help keep those little jerks out. Anywho, back to what I was doing. There we go. Okay. And should be out because it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't get here. I panicked. Okay, so. Wonder if I can. Let's try something real quick here. Put you back in here just so we have one that fails again. So we get our panic. Yeah, can't do that. Guess run is the only thing we can do. What if we allow it to run still if there are setup errors? Because that's not really great that it's... Oh, oops. It's not really great that it masks an issue, right? So then you panic, and then you panic. So we're still good there. Okay. And then if we come down here and we clean that up, I should take that out of things if we can. Let's delete. Oh, did I go back too far? I did. Fix that. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then we can do... Actually, I need to go back. Add bump go version, fix test failure caused by coordinates change. Push that up. Okay. Now, that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and merge this for now. We also need to say that this will copy our link from the other one. Copy the whole thing. We'll say possibly related to this issue we had open. We'll put this back into bugs because we are waiting on that issue with layouts changing when you hide and unhide text. So it's a thing. Part of why I'm frustrated, right? We're running into these issues and it's hard to figure out if I'm doing something wrong or if the framework has a bug. Hopefully with a slightly more mature framework, my thought is that maybe, just maybe, my experience will be a little better until they get Cogent into a more complete state. But we need to do a little bit of research now. I need to merge this first. I almost forgot to do that. That would be silly. So we're going to take this, make PR, merge it, confirm it, delete the branch. Okay. And all, thought I turn that off. We'll do it in a second. Okay. You, mute. Crash, all of that. Okay. Remember to plug in my phone as well. So, Flutter. Let's take a look at some Flutter and see what we can figure out. So, oh, look at that. Somebody made a game in Flutter. That's kind of cool. Multi-platform, web, desktop, and embedded. Enter Cocoa or Unix platform APIs. Okay. Don't really care about Mac. Unless they decide to let me build things without having one. In which case, YOLO. Web. Yeah. Okay. Powered by WASM. Cool. Figured. Kind of what makes sense, right? Okay. What other examples can we find in here? Animation tool. Okay. This. Some kind of a. Like a code learning thing type thing. So, like, obviously people have done some kind of weird stuff with this, right? Which is good because I'm doing weird stuff. Embedded. It's kind of cool, right? Just not relevant to us, but we're going to use an infotainment system. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Let's go look to learn. Code Labs, YouTube's, Docs, Cookbook. What if I want just like regular docs, y'all? Okay. Ah, okay. Docs itself is okay. That's very bad UX. Because, like, I don't want cookbook. I want all the docs, right? Okay. API reference docs. Environment. Nope, no VS Code. Okay, so. Bet you I have most of these. I can't remember if I've ever played with Flutter on this machine. So. This light mode page. Oh. Hang on. I deleted dark readers because it was breaking stuff. Okay. Android Studio, IntelliJ IDEA. Flutter. Okay. Okay, so I don't have Flutter yet. Okay, that's fine. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Sidetrack there. We also got to figure out what we're gonna do with this, right? But what I would really like to do some digging on. Let's bookmark this really quick. So we need to learn Dart. That's fine. This is the link. Oh, okay. This is the full. There's not just like docs. All right. That's fine. It's just, sure. Pick a thing. What does your docs look like? Ah, okay. Parses selector. Variables, hash code, runtime type, evaluation intersection, operators. All right. Okay. Should probably pick something better just to kind of see what it looks like, right? Okay, that's the only function off of that. All right. Lookout class. Okay. Docs aren't bad. Oh, thank gosh. I was going to go crazy if I had to look at that, though. I should have looked for that button sooner. Okay. So that's bookmarked. There. Much better. Let's see here. Write your first app. Code Lab. Just see what comes up if I run that. If it loads me a video, I don't want to get in trouble for playing a video. It doesn't. Okay, good. Back to light mode, though. Can I... Don't think I can. I don't want to watch the video right now. Later, probably. I want to do that. I don't want to do that just yet. Can we do the install? Yeah. Very VS Code centric, but okay. Pub spec. Okay, this is like a mod file or, dependency list type thing. Makes sense. Okay, they're going to explain. My question becomes, what's the override decorator do? So we got pages that are a class, and they're stateless or stateful probably. Either way. Get extends going on. So these extend some kind of a base class. Okay. Okay. So we have hot reloading. That's nice. And that should do that. Okay. elevated button. And then we have the on pressed. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so state lives in the root here. Watches and uses the state. So it's kind of like using a React with like Zustand or something, it kind of looks like. Context watch my app state. This is home page. Oh, this is okay. Here. Extends the stateless widget, but we watch my app state, which is a class, which is a change notifier in the root. Extract a widget, okay. So scaffold. And they're pulling state out as well. So let's take a look here. Pair is appstate.current. Pair as lowercase. So within the widget we're building, build context. This must be just overriding like the default builder, default constructor, whatever that is, right? Probably has some kind of default behavior. But we use pair, which we still watch this. I'm a little bit confused as to why we need to do this to access it here. I guess it doesn't like pull a reference in or something under the hood. Text widget no longer refers to the whole app state. Separate widgets for separate logical parts of UI is an important way of managing complexity in Flutter. Refactoring helper for extracting widgets, but before you use it, make sure that the line being extracted only accesses what it needs. Right now, the line accesses app state. Really only needs to know what the current word pair is. So this must get cleaned up and just the output gets saved or something like that? Or the output persists? New class big card at the end of the current file. Extract widget, assign a name such as big card and click enter. Oh, okay. So we're refactoring here. And then we go. So my home page. We get big card. Extends the stateless widget. Super key. So what did we super class a key? This dot pair. So it needs a pair. Final word pair is pair. Pair as lowercase. Turns the text. And then we return a card. Which wraps the padding widget and therefore also the text with a card widget. I'm a little confused about that, but okay, that's fine. When you first look at a thing, you're supposed to be confused. Okay, we have an app theme. That's good. We'll want one of those. Theme, color scheme, primary. Kind of similar to the way Cogent does it. Okay. Style is theme, text theme. Display medium. That. Is that like important, like in CSS? Copy with color. I hope if I read all of that, I would understand more, but that's fine. And then there's some accessibility stuff. That's cool. Center the UI. Centers the children inside the column along its main vertical axis. Main axis alignment center. Okay. Children are already centered along the column's cross axis, and others are already centered horizontally. Column itself isn't centered inside the scaffold. Okay, so scaffold is not just like a widget thing. It's its own thing. But there is an inspector. Hopefully JetBrains allows us to do that. Cursor to column, call to refactor menu. I don't want to wrap with center. I don't like that they rely so much in this, especially in a tutorial, right? Especially in like your first Flutter app tutorial, like that. Don't do that. Refactor it manually, right? But it looks like we just literally do wrap it with center here. Okay, I think this is probably a good thing to go through, right? If we want to do this, we need to figure out what we're going to do, but let's spend a little time kind of like priming the pump, so to speak, right? We'll leave that up. The other thing I wonder... I wonder if I can just do this in GoLand, but also... let me see... Exorcism does have Dart. So we could do a little bit of that too if we wanted to learn some Dart to kind of start orienting ourselves. I don't know if I want to do that just yet. We'll see. We'll see how easy it is to kind of just YOLO it, right? But if we start running into issues where I feel like I don't know enough about Dart and how it works and can't piece it together, then we're going to roll back to that if we have to. But this open. Let's do give me a top bar. It's stuck. There it goes. Pull this over here. Look at my plugins really quick. And installed. I don't want to install. I want Marketplace. Flutter. So it does seem to be available for this. This is the Google one. So we'll stick to official stuff. Thank you. You don't need that junk. Aren't coming from JetBlanes, are coming from Google. Okay, yeah. Let me double check. Desktop. Flutter plugin for IntelliJ. JetBrains Marketplace from Google. Yes, this is the critter. 98.9% sure. Just wanted to make sure that was the official one that they were suggesting here. All right. Don't need to restart just yet because I'm going to close that. Let's do. Make sure we're updated and then, okay, fine. We already know we have a git, unzip xz tills. I should put this over here. Zip lib glu1 mesa. See if any of those aren't. Okay, those are already installed for other things. Most of these I probably have, but we'll make sure. See if we need any of this. Nope, got all that too. Okay, great. We've got, oh, right here. Okay. Sure. I guess we'll just follow their instructions for this. Downloads, are you done? No, you're still going. We'll give that a second to continue to download. While we do that, let's go ahead and update this. Have you update my titles because we're working on some Flutter stuff right meow. Still got to figure out what we want to make, but we'll worry about that in a little bit. We'll have to think about that a little bit more just to kind of help get a feel for it, right? Something small and simple before we dive in to Crazy Town. This must be a really big SDK. Do. Waste a little time on the internet while we wait. Is it done? Nope. Oh yeah, it's a gig and a half. That's why. Wow, that's a really big SDK. Almost done. We're done with. Oop, that ain't what I want. We're done with that window. Let's close that for now. Okay, done finally. Now, we'll tar it, or untar rather, to element. That'll take a second because it's big. Still going, huh? All right. There we go. Okay, and now I need to remember the correct place for pop. Profile for sure has my pathy stuff. We will there we go. Okay. Down here. We'll say for Flutter export path equals path, and then we do home development Flutter bin and then if we launch a new terminal, Flutter Doctor. Flutter command not found. Oh, need to happen there. Must have screwed something up in my edits. What did I do? Path. Development Flutter bin. Oh, there we go. Flutter Doctor. No error. Taking a second. But this is supposed to validate everything, so that would be kind of expected, right? Okay. Android Studio not installed. Fine. Can't find Chrome. Fine. Try setting Chrome executable to a Chrome executable. I use Brave right now, so I can probably use that. Android toolchain issue. Don't care right now. We need a JDK for that. See Dart on your path. I think. Okay, so I did have Dart at some point. Resolves to that. Not inside current Flutter SDK checkout. Okay. Take a look here. What did I have to do that for? I had Brew because of Hugo. Consider adding Flutter to the front of my path. I added it to the end just because I usually just append things. But that might be a mistake in this case. Because it looks like Brew might fight with that, but I need Brew for Hugo because Pop and Ubuntu packages are old, and the Hugo version I use is new and not in the repos yet, so I had to brew it because of reasons. So what happens if we do say that, whoop. This path, close that. Flutter Doctor again fixes that. So toolchain, Android toolchain, that's fine. No Chrome, that's fine for now. Studio not installed, that's fine for now. We can install those if we need to later. We would need to really care about doing Android app development for that, I think. I hope. We'll find out. But we're good there. Let's do this and give this a try. I'm gonna do a new project. This won't have oh right. That was the code base thing. Okay. So make you small so it's less blinding, even though it's still pretty blinding. Might move that in a second here. So we bop 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 bop. We did all that. We're not going to use code. Install Flutter SDK. We're done with that. Is there anything that comes with Flutter new project command, but that's just VS Code. I don't have Flutter in there. Plugins. Dart is in. Flutter is in. Okay. This other stuff. Okay. I do have IntelliJ installed for some reason. I forget which reason. Let's take a look at that actually. Yeah, import from Goland, that's fine. Minimal amount of tweaking that I've done can come over. New project here. Okay. Here we can do Flutter. All right, I guess we're IntelliJ then. Okay. Flutter SDK path. Home. Me. Development. Flutter bin. Can I get away with just that? Not found. What if I just give you that? Seems okay. Project name. First app. I don't think that's valid. I think it's lowercase. That. You Flutter project, that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. Platforms. I guess why don't we just leave it in there, see what happens. What is offline? Run the Flutter. Oh, okay. I bet you it reaches out and pulls updates and all that if it needs it. Okay. That's fine. I don't want to make junk. Lowercase with underscore. Oh, okay. What did they call it over here? Just for curiosity's sake. Flutter underscore application one. I see. I remember this. I've worked places where we'd use Flutter. I didn't write it, but other people did. And undercases was a thing in the repos. Okay. We're happy with that, apparently. We create a Flutter project. Let's see what it actually makes for us, what it brings in, right? Get over here. Oh, errored. Okay, that seems like a U problem. So it's downloading something. Pulling Flutter stuff. JX browser. I don't know what that is. All right, whatever. We'll let you go. So yeah, okay. I'm glad I did this because it brings in a bunch of stuff. Interesting. Okay. We'll get into what that is in a bit, I'm sure. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I just can't help but poke around, just curiosity. It's like this is like the SDK stuff. Interesting. So this must be related to building. That must be what all this stuff is. Schematic lists, generated plugins. Must be. Index, manifest. Okay. Main Dart. Hi, sir. I want to start learning Flutter as my career options. Can you please guide me about any YouTube playlists or lectures in Flutter from basics to advanced? Great. This is my first day with Flutter too. Our first real day. I've poked at it a little bit in the past, but it's been over a year. So what I did is I just came here to the Flutter docs, the Flutter page, learn. I got here from docs. I got to my first Flutter app. So when you go in here, it talks about, yeah, fine, whatever. Installing, right? So I clicked desktop. That was what was relevant to me. I installed, create your first app. And then I clicked on start code lab. And that took me here. So here we are. Okay, so we got all that. Let's look at the difference in their pub spec and ours that was automatically generated. Theirs, oh, I guess they called it namer app. That's fine. I guess we can change that. Why not? Namer app. A new Flutter project. That's fine. Published to none. Great. Perfect. Environment. They say, I assume this is greater than or above or something. It's great. Best of luck at your journey. Yeah, you too. Appreciate you. Okay, so 38139 or 380390, we're probably fine. Dependency Flutter, SDK Flutter. Okay. English words is not in here. We probably want to add that. SDK can stay Flutter. English words greater than 4.0. Oops. 0.0. Provider. Don't know what that is. We'll add it though. Greater than 6.1.5. Or I think this means this version or higher. Dev dependencies, SDK Flutter, Flutter lints, same version there. Uses material design, true. Okay. If you gave your name if you gave your app a name other than namer app, you need to change the first line corresponding. Okay, so we did that. Perfect. Open another configuration of the project. Analysis options, YAML. Okay. Open, thank you. Don't need to read me right now. Replaces contents with the following. We'll see about replacing. Flutter lints, Flutter YAML, all the same. Linter rules. I don't know why we're avoiding print. This is set to false. I guess maybe that's the default to have it avoided for production. I guess maybe they don't like printing because in different platforms it doesn't come out. I don't know. Prefer single quotes. I shouldn't have done that. That one is not in the list. Prefer const in Immutables. False. Don't know why we did that. Actually, we can just we can copy this. If it was code, I would type it, but this is just linter rules. Well, it determines how strict Flutter should be when analyzing your code. Boop. Since this is your first foray into Flutter, you're telling the analyzer to take it easy. You can always tune this later. In fact, as you get closer to publishing an actual production app, you almost certainly want to make the analyzer stricter than this. We'll probably turn it back to defaults. I assume that they're going to do stuff like as a start that is not best practice or best, preferred way, and they're just stopping questions. Okay. Finally, open main Dart. Great. It's already open. Do I want to do a repo for this? I wonder. Probably not. If I do, I'll do it later. Okay, so replace with the following. No, we will type Dart SDK. I thought we did configure that. Let's double check. Dart support. Oh, Dart SDK. That's not correct. I pointed at Flutter. I didn't point it at Dart. Shut up. Stop it. Set up Flutter. The next desktop. Flutter SDK. Flutter must include Dart because I didn't install Dart anywhere. It was giving me whatever brew thought it had, but that's fine. So this should be, in theory, that development Flutter bin internal. Nothing in there. Cache. Dart SDK is in cache. Okay. No modules selected. Oh. Go away. I would like you to not. When this terminal command Dart disable analytics. Okay. Analytics reporting disabled. Good. Don't want any of that nonsense. I don't like that I have to opt out of that. Okay, pubspec has been, oh yeah, get dependencies. Okay, cool. So it's got like some kind of a package dependency resolver in there. It's good. And we did indeed English words and provider nested. Don't know what that is. Probably came with Flutter pub outdated. Newer version is incompatible with dependency constraints. Okay. If it's a problem, we'll worry about it later. Let's go back over here. Okay, so material Dart. We still have that above it. I don't know if it's going to care about order. Actually, let's find out. Let's put it below just to see. Import English words. English words Dart. Semicolon land. Doesn't seem like it cares about the order. Okay, that's fine. And we also need package provider, whatever that is. We will put this above just so that we match. Probably doesn't matter, but you know. Run app const my app. We don't have a const in the example, so we'll fix that. Probably because this won't be a const as soon as we start changing things. Widget is the root of your application. Okay. We're going to get rid of this for right now. We can look at that later. In fact, we're going to get rid of basically all of this. Okay. That. Just that. And then we're going to get rid of... That's going to stay. I don't know what key is. Ah, controls how one widget replaces another widget in the tree. Okay. Gotcha. So there's some kind of an ID or something. Interesting. Okay. So the super key must generate one or something. Get rid of that. We do have the override still. Widget build. Build context is still context. We return. This is where things get different. We, in this case, are going to return change notifier provider. Put this down here because we're going to need that. We're going to need one of them. Create is context. I don't know why we're doing parens here yet. My app state. We don't like that. Why don't we like that? My app. Because I didn't scroll down. So we have an app state. It's a change notifier. Word pair. Dot random. And this probably comes from words. Package English words, yeah. Right there. Okay. So our state, we just have a current var inside of our state. Okay, I see. Kind of, I think. We'll come back up here for a second and we'll do child material app title. Go away, please. Namer app. That's what they give us. Theme. Stop it. Theme data. Stop it. Color scheme is color scheme. Oh gosh. Dot from seed. I don't like how much IntelliSense is happening currently. Seed color is colors dot deep orange. Might have to try to tame the IntelliSense down a little bit on this case, just because there's so much crap. But we'll worry about that later. Home, my home page, which doesn't exist yet, but we're gonna make it real quick. Home page extends stateless widget. Dart is interesting so far. We have an override. Build context is context. I assume that that is some framework magic. Why are you not happy? Got override. Oh, because the rest of the body isn't in the bet is why. Okay, we'll worry about it in a second. Our app state is context watch. Brackety brackets, my app state. Usually means that that's like the type. And then still inside of the build, return a scaffold. Don't know what that is just yet. We'll go good there. Body is a column. Children of which text a random idea. Another text. App state dot current as lowercase, comma there, semicolon at the end of scaffold. Why that isn't filled in automatically? Good question. Okay, so app state is the context. So context must come from like the app level, right? Because we're using it twice here. So something is calling build. I wonder if it's saying that widget is a type of some kind. It's probably a case where like everything's a widget, right? Something's calling build on this widget and giving it a context. So it has to be in the framework somewhere. That's fine. And then we return children, which is a list of text things. Text class. It looks like we probably have text, string data, key, text style. Okay, so we got a bunch of different things we could put into this constructor. We're just giving it the string data because it's 2 strings here. This returns a string. Okay. So we've got like variadic argument links. We can have empty ones, all that kind of things in Dart, it seems. All right. Test is complaining at me. Probably because this is Namer app now. I don't know if that'll work anymore. We won't worry about it just yet. That just came in with the start. So let's see here. Should be running it now, I think. Let's go back up to the top. Launch the app. Target device selected. Linux desktop. Yes. Bop, bop, bop. Play button. That's going to be this, but they want debug, which is different in JetBrains. So we debug. Okay. Timed out. It's also still building down here. Might have some trubs. Let's just see what happens. Okay, it built. Let's try stopping it. What in the world is this? I already got Okay, failed to start. That's fine. Yeah, that's active. I guess I just need to activate this thing. There we go. Okay. Guess I just haven't used it yet. Okay. Now. Let's let that sort of sort itself out here. Let's get rid of this just in case. Don't want to dox anything. Okay, so it refused to connect. Okay, we will Linux desktop. We're going to run this real quick one more time. And then I'm going to make sure all this junk didn't turn itself back on. I don't want that nonsense. Okay, so we got issues. Got some trubs we got to fix. Oh, duh. Because Flutter Doctor said that our well, that would be it wouldn't be for desktop though. That would be for web. So that wouldn't be it. Let's go. Give me my plugins. Go to install. Fine. Stop it. I don't want this junk. That I probably need for this. I don't need any of those. I don't speak those. All this junk we probably should leave. All this junk we should probably leave. That. Yep. You turned yourselves back on. Not a fan. Stop doing that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that either then. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Not doing any remote development. We probably need those. Don't really care about those. It's fine. And all of this stays. Okay. All this AI crap out of here. It'll want me to restart. That's fine. Joys of setting up a new IDE that you haven't used before. Okay. Sure, why not? Download it. It's probably because we have the target set. We just didn't change it right. That's fine. We'll let that run really quick, and then we'll figure out why we have issues debugging. Okay. That. Is this a different one? I don't think so. I think it's just UI bug. Okay. Run this. See if we still get the same error. Nope, didn't. Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. So, we are up and running where we expect to be at this stage in this tutorial. first hot reload. So bottom down here, we do an example change. Here, instead of a random idea, we say awesome idea. And we save. And then it hot loads. Everything works. Perfect. Love that, actually. That's going to help a lot. Okay. Add a button at the bottom of the column right below the second text instance. Okay. And they've broken this out. And I kind of like that. So we'll do the same. Like so. Like so. Seems like this might kill our IntelliSense, though. She's a little bit near, but that's okay. All right, so we got two texts, and then we add elevated button. Ooh. Don't like the amount of IntelliSense happening here. On pressed, we're gonna call an anonymous func. Come on. This func will just print button pressed to a console somewhere with scene. Okay. And then, oh, we did that. You need to be what have I messed up? Braces wise. On pressed. Print you. Child. Has a text inside of it. Next. Come on, that's what I was missing. Okay. Put that over there so it's easier to read. And then we reload, and then we get our next button. Click it, debug console. So down below, we should see, okay, that's where it's logging to. Perfect. Love that. Now, tired, get sleepy. Okay. So top of every file. Let me stop this really quick and relaunch this because that bar is driving me just a little bit insane. There we go. Okay. So, the main function in its current form, it only tells Flutter to run the app defined in my app. Okay. Not found on disk or corrupted. Excuse me? JDKs, open JDK, all of that. API 29. Oh, maybe 24, 25. Okay. That's annoying. I'll worry about that later, though. It's just going to have to annoy me. So, current form only takes Flutter to run the app defined in my app. Makes sense. Which is the my app class. My app class extends stateless widget. Widgets are the elements from which you build every Flutter app. Okay, I was right. Everything is a widget, much like in Cogent. As you can see, even the app itself is a widget. How am I supposed to see that? I guess they're just talking about using widget build here, maybe. We get the explanation of stateless widget versus stateful widget later. Okay, cool. The code in my app sets up the whole app. Okay. Creates the app-wide state, which is here, I assume. More on this later. Names the app. Material app. Name your app. Defines visual theme. Theme data. We got our color, deep orange. Sets the home widget, the starting point of your app. My home page. There. Now, next, the my app state class define the app's state, right? Yes. First, we're into Flutter, so the code lab will keep it simple and focused. There are many powerful ways to manage app state in Flutter. One of the easiest to explain is change notifier, the approach taken by this app. Okay. Defines the data the app needs to function. Single variable with the current random word pair. You'll add to this later. Okay. The state class extends change notifier. Does too. Means that they can notify others about its own changes. For example, if the current word pair changes, some widgets in the app need to know. Okay, so it automatically has listeners or something. The state is created and provided to the whole app using a change notifier provider, which is this, I assume. C code above in my app. Oh, right here, change notifier provider. Wraps the whole thing. And I guess because it's all in there is how we get it. I'm not sure. That's okay. This allows any widget in the app to get a hold of the state. Okay, so we have a state at the root, essentially. My home page widget down here. Every widget defines a build method that's automatically called every time the widget's circumstances change so that the widget is always up to date. Okay, so very much like we have been doing in Cogent. I think they took a lot of inspiration from Flutter in kind of general structure and then, change things as they liked. My homepage tracks changes to the app's current state using the watch method. So that's where we register our listener. Context.watch, context being the whole thing. We watch my app state. Assume that watch type, yeah, my app state. So it watches for a type of my app state. Nearest ancestor provider of type T or T question mark, which is, don't know. Oh, I think question mark is like a could be null or something like that if I remember correctly. It's been a long time. And I don't think I ever even got this far last time. I got busy with other stuff, so pretty much my first time for realsies. Okay. Every build method must return a widget, or more typically a nested tree of widgets. Okay. In this case, the top level widget is scaffold. So scaffold is a widget. You aren't going to work with scaffold in this code lab, but it's a helpful widget and is found in the vast majority of real-world Flutter apps. Okay. Well, if it's in the vast majority, why wouldn't you introduce it in the introduction course? Just a question. Column is one of the most basic layout widgets in Flutter. We have that. Takes any number of children and puts them in a column from top to bottom. Okay, makes sense. By default, the column visually places its children at the top. You'll soon change this so that the column is centered. Okay. We changed this text widget in the first step. Yes, we did. Second text widget takes app state and accesses the only member of that class, current, which is a word pair. Word pair provides several helpful getters, such as Pascal case or as snake case. Here we use as lowercase, but you can change this now if you prefer one of the alternatives. Lower is fine with me. Notice how Flutter code makes heavy use of trailing commas. Yes. Particular comma doesn't need to be here because children is the last. Line 7 in their case. So here. Weird that they labeled it that way, but okay. Because children is the last and only member of this particular column parameter list. So I guess we could put another thing in there or something. Anyway, it is generally a good idea to use trailing commas. They make adding more members trivial, and they also serve as a hint for Dart's auto formatter to put new line there. Okay. See code formatting. Let's take a look really quick. Single shared style. Okay, fair enough. Right click code window, select format document. Let's see if we get that reformat code with Dart format. Okay, cool. I like that. I should be able to do this on save. Searching on explicit save, actions on save, reformat code, optimize imports. That's probably fine just like that. I don't want a code cleanup, I don't think. I'll do that. So then if I was to, for example, do that, hit save, much like Go does for us with Go format automatically. Okay. Good to know. Big fan of that. Go has shown me the ways of one style. Next, you'll connect the button to the state. So, scroll to my app state. Right here. Add a get next method. So we put you inside here. Current is word pair dot random. Notify listeners of the change. Perfect. The new get next method reassigns current with a new random word pair. Bop, bop, bop. Makes sense. Calls notify listeners. A method of change notifier. Ensures anyone watching my app state is notified. Rains is call the get next method from the button's callback. So down in here, instead of the print dot get next. And then app state is what we defined here. Semicolons because we're in Dart. That's still like that. Save. We'll rerun this and debug. And we should get new random words every time we press the next button. Keep saying word pair. I only have a word though. A little weird. So deer can, French bride. Oh, I guess okay. So it just mushes them together. I see. Seems to work just fine. Love it. Next section, you'll make the user interface prettier. Good. Love that too. How it looks currently. Yep. Looks about like that. That's for sure. Randomly generated pair of words should be more visible. Mine is oranger than theirs, but it did say to do orange, so I think that's intended. Let's double check. Color scheme from seed, Z color deep orange. Yeah. I think that's part of it. Okay. App contents are really off center. Whole app is boringly black and white. Yep. Kind of. Okay, so extracting a widget, right. Line responsible for showing the current word pair looks like this now. Text, app state, this one. To change it to something more complex, it's a good idea to extract this line into a separate widget. Having separate widgets for separate logical parts of UI is an important way of managing complexity in Flutter. Makes sense. Flutter provides a refactoring helper. I don't know. But before you use it, make sure that the line being extracted only accesses what it needs. Okay, yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Right now, that's rewrite the homepage as follows. So here we do var pair app state dot current. No, not a function call, and only 2 R's. And then down here we do pair as lowercase. I'm still a little hazy on like what we're really gaining here, because if this gets built every time this changes, then it still pulls the state and then it's still going to hand it off to this, which, I mean, I guess it is better than handing it the whole state. It's just a little bit unclear, right? Okay, call to refactor menu. Refactor, extract, Flutter widget. Okay. Only extracting a widget expression or a method returning a widget. Okay. Expression or method returning widget. Is it because I have the comma? It is. Okay. Silly. Very silly. Widget name. Big card. We refactor that. And it does. Extend stateless widget super key required this dot pair. Okay. Final word pair. Very much gives us the same thing as the expected VS Code. So that's fine and good. Okay. Find the big card class and build method. We'll leave that alone. Refactor menu on the text widget. Wrap with padding. So we do this guy, but probably just this. Factor. Okay, I don't seem to have this option, which I'm not too worried about, really. Generate. Don't have that. Can I do... I'm just curious now. I think I just don't have that option. That's fine. I don't really care. Wrap with padding creates a new parent widget around the text widget calling or called padding. So wrap with widget. specify the parent widget type card. Okay, so what happens is this gets wrapped in padding, right? Let's pull this down like so. Except for this is now a child. And a comma there instead. And then we have padding, which is const edge insets all 20 commas there, not semicolons. Okay. That gives us our padding. And then the second refactor is going to wrap this in card. Something like that. This becomes a comma instead now, I believe. This is child now. If we save, it'll fix our indenting mess for us. And then it puts that in a card. Which must just automatically tell us material design card. Okay, yeah, material design. Makes sense. Okay. And then it's nicely padded around it. Make the card stand out more, paint it with a richer color, because it's always a good idea to keep a consistent color scheme. Use the app's theme to choose the color. So in our build, we need here, final theme of context. So we get our parent, essentially, theme. And then this card color theme dot color scheme dot primary, like that, gives us more of a brown, but we'll go with it. Which, I mean, that part looks correct. It is brown. It's hideous, but it's fine. Okay. 2 new lines do a lot of work. First, the code requests the app's current theme with theme of context. Yep. Code defines the card's color to be the same as the theme's color scheme property. Color scheme contains many colors. Primary is just the most prominent defining color of the app. Okay. Card is now painted. We can change this color in the color scheme of the whole app by scrolling up to my app, changing the seed color for the color scheme there. They suggest green. I like green. That's much better. Oh, it's trying to say it changes smoothly. Let me do this. I can't really show it very easily. Make sure this is correct. Yeah, okay. So we pull this over here so we can see it on the screen at the same time. If I hit save, it kind of fades. Oh, it already did. Change it again. Save. Kind of fades over. It's kind of nice, right? Get over here. Oop, too much. Too far. Perfect. There we go. It's kind of a cool little feature. Color animates smoothly. This is called an implicit animation. Many Flutter widgets will smoothly interpolate between values so the UI doesn't jump between states. Okay, that's cool. Elevated button below the card also changes color because it's the theme, right? It's the power of using an app-wide theme as opposed to hard-coding values. Makes sense. Makes sense. Card still has a problem. The text is too small and the color is hard to read. Yes. Fix this, make the following changes. Okay. Do the build. We're doing big card, big card. Final theme, final style, theme dot text theme, display medium. Still don't know what this exclamation point is for. Copy with color theme dot color scheme dot on primary. Oop. So that's going to give us the themes color scheme for a thing that is on top of the primary color. Makes sense so far. And then down here, as lowercase, style is the style that we just set up. That makes everything more prettier. Perfection. Love that. Let's see here, but what's behind this change? By using theme.textTheme, you access the app's font theme. Okay. So text theme is exactly what it sounds like, but we pull it out of our theme that's from the parent, so makes sense. This class includes members such as body medium for standard text of medium size, caption for captions of images, or headline large for large headlines. Display medium property is a large style meant for display text. The word display is used in the typographic sense here, such as in display typeface. Okay. There's a link there. Goes into typefacing things that I am mostly ignorant of. But essentially it says for display text, right? Something that's prominent. Documentation for display medium says that display styles are reserved for short, important text. Exactly our use case. The theme's display medium property could theoretically be null. Dart, the programming language in which you're writing this app, is null safe, so it won't let you call methods of objects that are potentially null. Okay. In this case, though, you can use the bang operator to assure Dart you know what you're doing. Debatable. Display medium is definitely not null in this case. The reason we know this is beyond the scope of this code lab, though. Dang it. Like, I get it, but also I would like to know. Calling copy with on display medium returns a copy of the text style with the changes you define. Okay. In this case, you're only changing the text color. Oh, okay. So we copy the display medium setting, change the color in the copy. You get the new color. You once again access the app's theme. The color schemes on primary property defines a color that's good fit for use on the app's primary color. Yeah. Should now look something like the following. We're pretty close there. If you feel like a change the card further, here's some ideas. I think I'm pretty okay with this. Large the card's shadow by increasing elevation, parameters value. Okay. Just for fun. Okay, yeah, that did work. Okay, interesting. Okay. Fair enough. We'll put it back just because we don't need it. By experimenting with colors, there's also secondary surface. Don't care. I'm good with that for now. Flutter makes apps accessible by default. For example, every Flutter app correctly services all text and interactive elements in the app to screen readers such as TalkBack and VoiceOver. Okay, I don't know much about them other than they exist, and blind people listen to them very, very quickly because they're very good at it. Kind of a fun thing. Sometimes, though, some work is required. In the case of this app, the screen reader might have problems pronouncing some generated word pairs. Makes sense. While humans don't have problems identifying the two words in Cheaphead, a screen reader might pronounce the PH in the middle of the word as F. Solution is to replace pair as lowercase with a format string, basically. The latter uses string interpolation to create a string such as cheap head from the two words contained in pair. Using two separate words instead of a compound word makes sure the screen readers identify them appropriately and provides a better experience to visually impaired users. We will care about our blind friends. However, you might want to keep the visual simplicity of pair as lowercase to use, you might want to keep the visual simplicity of pair as lowercase. Use text semantics label property to override the visual content of the text widget with a semantic content that is more appropriate for screen readers. So down in here, text, we'll break this out because it's getting long and they suggest that. So we will acquiesce to their request. Semantics label. We do our funky little pair first, space, pair dot second. Okay, just like so. Nothing has changed here. Makes sense. Now screen readers can correctly pronounce each generated word pair, yet the UI stays the same. I don't really want to set up a screen reader on my device. Thank you. I'll take your word for it. Okay. How much word do we have on this page? A couple more. We'll finish this page and then we'll call it for today. We can run a little long. That's not a big deal. And then we'll finish it up tomorrow and then kind of start figuring out what we want to do with this. Okay, so we're done with that part. Centering the UI. Okay. Now that the random word pair is presented with enough visual flair, it's time to place it in the center of the app's window / screen. Remember that big card is part of a column. Yes. Up here. By default, columns lump their children to the top, but we can override this. Go to my homepage's build, which we just did while trying to follow. Build method make the following change. So in here, column, main axis alignment dot center, like so. That puts us in the center horizontally, or vertically rather. Centers the children inside the column along its main vertical axis. Yes. Children are already centered along the column's cross-axis. In other words, they're already centered horizontally. The column itself isn't centered inside the scaffold. Column, scaffold. We probably need an alignment property in here. We can verify this by using the widget inspector. How do I... Can't do it there. There's a video, but that's for VS Code. Browser, hot restart, hot reload. Flutter attach? Oh, no. No. That's like a live debug. Dev tools. Inspector. That's what I want. Dev tools is going to be other stuff. That's fine. Go away, please. Absolutely not. Okay. Now. So we've got my app. That shows it there. Okay, hang on one sec here. Column is highlighted. Boop. Okay. Kind of hard to read, but like I get it. It's the column. I wish I could get... Oh dear, that was Oh, select widget mode. There we go. Then we can see. Okay, perfect. See, the columns highlighted doesn't take the whole width of the app. It only takes up as much horizontal space as its children need. Just center the column itself. Put your cursor into column. Boop. I don't want that to happen. I guess I would need to do this. Call refactor menu. Wrap with center. I don't want to do that anyway. That's fine. So it says wrap with center. So I guess I'm going to need something like this. And then after column, well, this would be children. We'll go look. If you want, you can tweak this some more, blah, blah, blah. Hang on. Come down here. It's body, not children. Body, center, and then this is child. Column. I was close. Boop. Puts you in the center. We select you. We see column. I like this. This select seems to work very well. I don't like that it opens that, but turn that off for now. Okay, let's go back here real quick. If you want, you can tweak this some more. You can remove the text widget above big card. Yes, that's very silly right now. I'm done with inspector for a second. Remove the text widget above big card. It could be argued that the descriptive text, a random awesome idea, isn't needed anymore since the UI makes sense even without it. Yep, and it's cleaner that way. You can also add a sized box height 10 widget between big card and elevated button. This way there's a bit more separation between the two widgets. Big card, elevated button, sized box height 10. Okay. Versus that. Yeah. Okay. I like that. We can rock that. Okay. This way there's a bit more separation between the two widgets. The sized box widget just takes space and doesn't render anything by itself. It's commonly used to create visual gaps. Good to know. Visual gaps are a thing I have a desire for frequently. Okay, optional changes, blah, blah, blah. That's all that. Looks like the following. Great. Okay, that is where we're going to wrap it up for today. So we'll stop this. Oh, I stop all came in there. Lost connection. Okay, that's fine. All right, so tomorrow we will finish up this little tutorial and I'll start kind of thinking about what I want to build that is like an introduction level project to kind of just feel out some Flutter, right? If all goes well, we'll probably start rewriting the editor and the client in Flutter, unless I hit things that make me think this is a silly idea. So we will come back to Mongoose Engine. I got to figure out what I want to build. I would like to build something useful with Flutter that's simple. So I have to think about that a little bit. But anyway, I stream for normally 2 hours right now, starting on Friday, ending on Monday. So if you like this kind of thing and you'd like to come hang out tomorrow, I know it's a holiday weekend, so it's probably going to be slow, but hey, if you're watching this and you want to hang out, I should be here 8 p.m. Central Time, if that means anything to you. If not, check when the VOD was posted or whatever time it is right now in your neck of the woods. minus 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's about when I'll start tomorrow. And I'd love to see you again. Thanks for the people who swung through to hang out today, and hope to see you tomorrow. If not, have a great weekend anyway, and we'll catch you some other time.